I was thinking about what to say tonight, and I realized that some of you in the front row have known Crosby since you were like 2 years old. Some other people, most people in this room have only known Crosby, for the past 5-7 years or so. So I thought I'd give you a few slides on what she's been doing her whole life and what she's been up to. So, we have actually gotten some questions about this picture as to whether it's doctored or photoshopped. And I wasn't there when this happened, but I think it is actually real, because at our wedding, I of course was there, and she did the splits at our wedding too. No, don't ask me. We don't need any trips to the hospital tonight. So. All right, so Crosby is from San Marino in California, which is like this pretty idyllic suburb of LA. And every time we're watching an American commercial and they're in a nice suburb, she's like, oh, that's San Marino. So San Marino is in every commercial going. So that's her. She's got 2 older sisters. Lauren is here. Thanks for coming over, Lauren. And McCall is the oldest, and there's Crosby. So,
because I don't look like
okay, that's Crosby.
I'm the ugly one.
So if you know Crosby's mom, she loves to take pictures and loves to trot the kids out to get photographed, and so they did it all the time. Some of the times Crosby was happy and her sisters were kind of so-so about it. Some of the times she was a little bit sad. But generally, life was pretty good in SoCal. So her dad, Crosby was the third child that came along. It was another girl. Her dad tried his best to make her into his little boy. Fortunately for him, he found a fairly willing participant, and she was a pretty good athlete as well. This is her in preschool, and Susan, are you in this one? Yes. So there she is, bottom right, and again, it's a testament to what a great friend she's been to people, and how good she is at making and keeping relationships. In that, she can really tell you what all these people are doing these days. So,
Sarah, next to you?
And here's, middle school being silly. That is her. But, by the time she's a junior in high school, she's starting to look like the Crosby that we love. So, really becoming a beautiful young woman. And she apparently had some mad soccer skills because she was on the varsity soccer team, right down there. If you ever question her athletic ability, she will remind you that she was on the varsity softball team all 4 years of high school, which is actually pretty impressive in a 2,000-person school to be on the top team for all 4 years. So cheerleading was a big part of her life as well. So then she's about to graduate. She's about to graduate high school, and she starts applying to universities. And she went to this, super competitive high school outside of LA. But she studied really hard, did well, and so she gets an offer letter from Michigan. And her dad's like, so excited. He's picturing himself in the 50-yard line, Michigan, Notre Dame. Like, this is going to be great, and I'm going to live vicariously through my daughter. And so, she gets the offer letter probably in December or so. And in February, they go out to visit Michigan. And so they fly out. This is LA in February. It's a little bit colder, but still sunny, palm trees. And they land in Detroit. And that's Detroit. And they go out to Ann Arbor, and it's beautiful in the winter, but it's cold. And Crosby says to her dad, I thought they only had this white stuff in Aspen and Vail. I didn't know they had this, people actually live like this. So it wasn't going to work. So she finally enrolls in Washington, and she goes up there, and she doesn't really know anyone. Everyone's sort of local. They're going home on the weekends, and so she's really sad. And so this is Washington. It's raining all the time again, and she's listening, and she's hearing some music in the background. I know where I'm supposed to. So she packs her stuff, gets in the plane, flies back to LA, and enrolls at the University of Southern California. And to be fair, you know, Roshering, it's a pretty cool place. So they've got this big time sports program. They've got a great band. They wear sunglasses at night, and they've got this Trojan guy that rides around on this white horse. And so and even better, her sister is actually a really big deal on campus because she's a song girl, and so she's cool. So she pledges a sorority, Delta Gamma. I couldn't find any toga party pictures. I was really disappointed.
All the party pics.
But you know, meets another group of people that she's going to be friends with for life. And so Crosby's sister, McCall, who's not here, looks a lot like Crosby. And when McCall, if you look at the license plate in the cake, it's McCall's license. And when McCall turned 21, Crosby had a birthday party for herself because now she had a really good fake ID. She did a semester abroad in Spain and did a good bit of traveling around. With Becky. Becky's not in the picture. I had a picture of Becky, but
It's okay.
You guys were looking like you'd been in Europe for a while. So. eating good Spanish food for a while. So I took it out. I thought I would get yelled at. And so then, you know, came back to USC to finish up and graduated. And she's thinking to herself, God, what should I do now? Where should I go? And she had a friend, Carrie, who in that preschool picture was a girl sitting next to her, who was going to move to New York City. And so she thought about it, and you know, New York's a long way away. It's all the way across the country, and you know, it's a big place. But then she decided to move out, and you know, New York's a lonely. It can be a lonely big city, but she found a great group of friends, and you know, they were having a good time. And so she starts working at this law firm, Cravath, Swaine & Moore, which is like one of the biggest law firms in the world, and you know, known for big mergers, H.J. Heinz, Anheuser-Busch, and S.A. and of course the biggest one they've ever done, Billy and start dating, and you know, dating for like a year, and soon she moves into my expansive palatial estate on the Upper West Side, and you know, everyone in New York has their 2.2 dogs, so we get a dog, and she ends up doing her master's at NYU and teaching high school on the Upper West Side. Spend our weekends taking the dog around Central Park. And then, you know, eventually as things go on, you know, we decide to get married. And so I got to apologize to Prince Harry because, you know, he's thinking he's like the best guy ever after that wedding a couple of weeks ago. And he's thinking he's got the best looking bride ever from Southern California, but he's not right. Crosby looked amazing on her wedding day and was great. And I got to tell you, you know, you saw her do the splits at the wedding. No one had more fun at our wedding than Crosby. Not the Marines, not my crazy cousins from Chicago, no one. And she was on fire that night. So, good times. And so then we're deciding, you know, we go back to New York. And had lived in New York for 5 years. New York's a pretty tough place to live, and, you know, just had to get out. So we had this big negotiation about what to do next. And I kind of wanted to go back to Chicago because my parents were older. And she, of course, wanted to go to California, so I said, we're going to move to Chicago for 3 years, and then we'll move to California after that. So that was 2004 that we had that conversation, and so we moved to Chicago. It's summertime, hanging out at the Cubs games, it's sunny, and then her sister shows up, and her sister brings this little baby with her, and Crosby's like, I gotta get one of these. And so approximately 9 months and 1 day later, we had this little baby. And, you know, so we've got this little girl and this little dog. And, yeah, it's a little stretched. But, you know, kids are cool. You can dress them up however you want. And, so we thought, one is great, let's have two. And so she calls me, she gets pregnant, she calls me up from the hospital one day and she's like, hey, they're gonna do another ultrasound. Do you wanna come over? And I was at work, looked at my schedule, okay, not too much going on this afternoon. And so I'm like, yeah, but another ultrasound, that's kind of weird, isn't it? Yeah. And so I go over and everyone's kind of got like this weird look and weird smile on their face. And they start like moving the thing around and throw it up on the big screen and it looks like this. And I'm looking at it, get out of the way guys. I'm looking at Billy. And I'm looking at it thinking like, this doesn't look like it did last time. This is weird. I just stared at this thing for like 3 minutes. And finally everyone was like, you idiot, it's twins. There we go. So we got the heck out of the city, moved to the suburbs. Billy and Kelly come out. We've got these twins. And Crosby was rocking this triple stroller where one of the kids had to sit on the front like a hood ornament. And you could see Kelly didn't really like it that much, and Billy was getting car sick or something like that. But, it was a good time. And, everyone's in pigtails in the burbs and having fun. And so then, I started doing a bunch of deals in London and flying over here all the time. And Crosby said one day, if they want you to go to London, like I'd be totally up for that. That'd be so much fun. And so I go into work the next day, say, hey, if we're going to move someone over, I'd definitely love to do that. And discussions go on for like a couple of months, and then finally Crosby comes to me and she's like, yeah, that London thing, I'm pretty happy in the suburbs. Why don't we stay here? I'm like, too late. I told him, I had the conversation, we're going. And so we end up over here, come over here. Kids get into school. Crosby masters the school runs. She turns into some blonde tiger mom to try to get the kids into the next schools. And she watches about 1,000 sporting events. She's always at the kids' sports. So the dog we got in New York City finally kicks the bucket, and we got a new dog, and Crosby loves this dog. We need Pippo.
Yes, we do. She's our
take some good vacations, Europe, and back to California every once in a while, and a bit of skiing, and all the while, keeping it real. So. But anyway, thanks for coming tonight. I know some people have come from near. I think Dermot hopped over the fence back there. And we've got people from San Diego and LA. So really appreciate everyone taking their Saturday nights to come with us. Last slide, of course, is...
Oh my God! Still got it!
Just in case you're wondering if she's getting old.
Thank you guys so much for coming. Should I take off my stash? Why don't you guys take a seat? Okay, I have nothing planned, but I just want to say thank you all, and I'm so lucky to have you all in my life, and thank you all the SoCal people for coming, and my parents and my friends and my friends' parents and all of you and all the school friends and everything. And I'm just so lucky. I know it is a bit crazy, I feel like, to have a big bash for your 40th. I'm sure none of you probably went like over the top. It's maybe a bit over the top. But I'm just like happy to be alive and happy to be healthy and happy to have my great family and my friends and like all of you. So thank you for giving me all that. Thank you. Susan and Becky are both here. Susan and Becky, we're all the same year, so we all have turned 40 this year. And Susan had her 40th in February, and she's like, Crosby, I did a back handspring at my 40th birthday party. I'm like, shit, if Susan can do a back handspring, let me see if I can still do a front handspring. I was never able to do a back one. Anyway, so that's what this was a few weeks ago after Susan told me she did one first. I'm not going to do one because I got a dress on. But anyway, cheers to life and health and happiness, and for being here. I love you all. Thank you so much.
No, this place. We're not going to that place. So if you wouldn't mind raising your glass and toasting Crosby, here's to another successful upcoming 40 years. Thank you.